want to grow your wealth in the fastest way, you need to do this extra one thing, which I always call it leverage. What is leverage? Leverage means small doors that you swing open huge door opportunities, right? So you do small, put in small effort, but the reward is super huge. It's 10 times more. And in property, you put in 10% down payment, all right? And if your property makes money, you make 100% of them. And that is what we call leverage. You want to leverage in properties, right? And also you want to leverage on people paying property on your behalf, okay? So next thing I want to share with you is that in the same slide that I want to share with you, you can see this yellow line, negative 2.5K. What does it mean? It means that this is the amount of installment you're going to pay back every single month. So you have to pay your installments, yes. But can you get someone else to do it for you? Also, yes, all right? So you can rent out a property, and let's assume that the property you rent out is at 2.8K. So your initial cash flow, money that you don't need to work hard for, and money that rings in every single month is at 300 ringgit. All right? So 300 ringgit for a start. If a property being rented 3.8K today, what do you think is going to happen 30 years from now? Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? Are property rentals going to get cheaper or not? Let me ask you this question. All right. You already know the answer and you can see the graph here. The answer is no. So how property cash flow or rental works is that if you invest in group properties, and I mentioned this, if you invest in group properties that you can profit from, right? You will see consistent increment when it comes to the rental. Okay. So what does it mean? You do not need to do anything. Continue renting the properties, the same exact property, probably the same exact tenant, and every 3 to 5 years, you can revise the rental into a higher rental. All right, so your cash flow will continue to go up. And the best part is after 30 years, that someone already, finish for you your loan, right? Would you want to know every single month what is the amount of money you're getting in your so-called passive income, right? That you receive solely from this rental, all right? It is approximately 5.6K, and that is 30 years from now. Now, how do I come up with all this figure? Just to cut short the story, all right? This figure is to take into account where we just put 3% of increment of rental per annum. And there's a compounding rate to it. That's why I can see after 30 years, it's plus minus 5.6K. 3% compounding interest per annum actually is a very low rate. Why? Because based on research, all right, even the lowest class of all, laborers, even we have researched their increment of their pay is minimum at 5%. And what people use to pay rent? People use their salary to pay rent. So if among the lowest of the lowest of all, working class, right, even they are getting 5%, per annum based on their income growth rate, all right, 3% per annum of increment of rental rate is not too much to ask for. It is very conservative, and I want you to see that, right? Okay, so what I label out for you in this, blue color, this whole thing is that it's called cash flow growth. So you enjoy cash flow growth as well. So 3 things you're enjoying from a single property: capital appreciation, which you do not need to do anything, all right? Loan amortization, which you owe the bank lesser and lesser money from time to time, which is also your net worth, by the way, right? And the third part that's so fun is that you can get someone else to pay everything for you, all right? And plus, pay your expenses, pay for your traveling expenses, pay for your living expenses, and so forth, right? So this is what makes property investment lucrative. And you do not need to sell a property. You can keep this property forever. And if you can make this in one property, how many properties would you want to invest in? Let me ask you this question. All right. The answer is as many as possible. All right. But bear in mind that I don't want you to blindly buy properties just for the sake of this. I want you to buy only properties that can make money. So in the market, the next challenge is going to be how to actually look for this kind of property and stuff like that, right? And to make sure that this property actually make money from day one. So this is what I advocate and what I taught my students how to do, right? So just to run through the numbers again, if you put in a 50K investment today for a 500K property, 30 years later, you're going to end up with this just 50K investment, net worth of 2 million. You will finish pay off your property and you will enjoy cash flow 5.6K for one single property of just 500,000 today. Now, your ROI is 40 times. All right. Is owning property a very difficult thing to do? No, I don't think so. I think if you possess this skill set, which is learnable by anyone, all right, you are able to do that as well. And this is just one single property.